What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis here, all coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and I'm here for my UBL D-League Season 1 draft analysis, and I'm really excited to bring this cause this is gonna be my first ever YouTube draft league that will be played on Wi-Fi, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And basically how we are here is that I got known about this league's assistance, the UBL main league, through my connections within the league to Automatic and also to Frosted, who was actually someone who I helped team building and giving mock battles to throughout her run in Season 2 starting from week 3 or so. So I have had some connections which helped me to be familiar with this league itself, and now when they introduced the D-League to be something that they wanted to give it a try, I immediately jump on this opportunity to try to see if I can get in, and as we are here, I'm very grateful that I was selected. And when it comes to the draft itself, what were the rules? We are basically gonna be using the tier system draft, which I'm sure most of you are very familiar with, because this is probably the oldest method that has been implemented into draft league format to limit a little bit of the drafts and have some kind of rules within them. And this is actually something that the UBL main league also used in the past season. And when it comes to the draft order itself and how many coaches we are going to be having this season, we are going to be having 10 coaches in total, including myself, and the draft order was randomized, and the screenshot of that is on the right side of the screen, and my position going to this draft was the 9th pick out of 10, so second last pick, which ain't that terrible because that gives me luxury of being able to pick my mons in sort of like in pairs, not necessarily the wheel pick, but it's a semi-wheel pick for myself. And when it comes to round 1 and my mentality to go into this draft is just wait and see what is available for me and try to seek if there's any mons that are fallen to my position that I would not expect to be there, and just pick them if they are available and go from there and try to pick the best one available in a couple of first rounds. Enough about this appetizer talk, let's get into the pie of this video, which most of you are here for, and that is my draft picks, what I was able to draft, and let's get into the round 1 what I was able to draft. With the 9th pick overall, basically the second last pick in the round 1, I was somehow able to manage to pick myself Landorus-Therian, and I could not believe when I was able to draft this thing that it was still available, because to me Landorus-Therian is easily top 3 mon in draft league format in this generation, behind Tapu Koko being the best one in draft league format, which went first overall for good reason, and then it's there fighting between Celesteela, which one is the second best and the third best. You can make case for both of them, but in any cases I believe I should have not have this kind of opportunity to pick it up in my position in the draft, so I'm very happy with it. With the Intimidate plus the dual typing of Ground and Flying, those are very key elements for Landorus-Therian to be as good as it is, but especially in this generation with the C moves being one of the best offensive, if not the best offensive C move users in the game. Those are the really key aspects what really makes Landorus-Therian tick and shine as well as it can, giving me Stealth Rocks off the bat, Defogger, Momentum Grabber with U-turns, setup opportunities with Sword Dance and Rock Polish, and just a very strong ground type, best ground type in a draft league format, which I value very high, and just beneficial of a round 1 pick, what it's supposed to be when you're looking for one in any kind of draft. I can bring this every single week and it's gonna do a phenomenal job no matter which kind of role I put it into, because it's very versatile, and its bulk, its power, its dual typing provides so many good things for me going forward. So I'm really happy with this pick. And let's see what I was able to grab in round 2. And with the round 2 pick, I don't know how this monster was still sitting on the table. It felt like it was a little bit forgotten by the other coaches, and I took no time to second think of this pick when it was sitting there and I noticed it. I was like, you know what, Kyurem-Black, I'm taking you, and I have no regrets by doing it yet again. I have had this mon for quite a few times in the past, but I cannot skip on it if it's sitting there in round 2. I'm sorry, I'm taking this. And now with Landorus-Therian and Kyurem-Black, I have a very intimidating start with my draft. I have the best ground type in the draft league format in Landorus-Therian, which is a phenomenal offensive threat in itself. Ground typing is such a threatening offensive type, and ice typing is arguably the best offensive typing in the game, and I got the best one in business with Kyurem-Black, so I'm very excited for this, and it's gonna provide me a very strong wall breaker off the bat. It's gonna be very menacing. Without or with C moves, it doesn't matter. So many balanced teams are gonna be losing their sleep when they try to think about how I'm gonna get through this mode without losing mons left to right. When I get it in safely, and it has phenomenal bulk. Even when ice typing is not the greatest defensive typing, combined with dragon, it still has some key resistance, and with reliable recovery and with its natural bulk plus its offensive presence, I can do so many different kind of sets with this mon and be very efficient with it, and be pretty hard to try to be prepared for, because I have 2 very strong mons. Both of them are equally as versatile themselves when they are given to be that. So very excited about this start, and let's go and see what I got in round 3. Oh, I want to know how in round 3 I was still able to grab myself Mega Lopunny. Yup, Mega Lopunny is here. Bunny and the Beast Core is back together on my squad. In case you don't know, this is what I call my Mega Lopunny Kyurem-Black combo, which I have used in the past together, and I had no intentions to try purposely draft them yet again together when I sign in for this league, but for some reason this particular one was sitting there in round 3, and I was looking for some elite speed tiers mons which were still available or which were going. There were mons like Zeraora and Greninja which were taken, which I had my eyes on, but after those were taken, I knew this mon would be my first choice if it was still there, and I grabbed it, and I got myself one of the best, if not the best, Mega Evolutions for myself. Great dual typing in normal and fighting offensively wise with the scrappy ability, great speed tier 135, and with my first 2 picks being relatively slow, I knew this is gonna be a very key aspect for me to be able to add early on, to have something very fast and immediately make sure that I don't have to worry about what's being left if I don't grab elite speed tiers in early enough rounds. So very happy with Mega Lopunny. A lot of more versatility that people give it credit for on its move pool, but even with its standard sets, it's very efficient what it does, and now it's up to me as a coach to make sure that those RBS counters which will be brought every single game, I play around them properly and let Mega Lopunny do what it does at its best. I'm really happy about this pick. And now in round 4 we start to kind of, from onwards from next round, I start to really focusing on getting some synergy and supporting with my first 3 picks, which are very powerful as you can tell. So let's get into round 4 where I'm gonna be picking my dark type. Like I mentioned, in round 4 I did go scoop up myself a very reliable dark type that I knew that I want to have with Mega Lopunny, because that's something that it really appreciates as its partner. And I decided to go with Alolan-Muk based on that which dark types were still available, which one I could afford, and to me, with what I had and what price Alolan-Muk is sitting at as a tier 3 mon, I knew this is gonna be a very solid pick. It may seem a little bit early, but because of the need that I have for a dark type to be very reliable mon for me to bring most of the weeks when I have something like Mega Lopunny as a key component of my team, I wanted this mon. It has great dual typing in dark and poison, giving me grounded poison type to be immune to toxic spikes, giving me a phenomenal bullshit trapper, probably the best one in the business when you think about it in traffic format, combining its reliable dual typing. Assault vest sets are very reliable sets, not only for just bulky psychic types, but in general it can check so many things naturally because it's so ridiculously bulky, and it still hits very strong with 105 base physical attack stat. It has knockoff, which you always want to have in your arsenal, especially on your dark type, and overall, I'm very happy with this pick. I think it's gonna do a very good solid job and prove its value to be picked in round 4. And in round 5, I decided to actually go into a tier 4 mon, which I knew that I immediately wanted to have after I got Alolan-Muk, and that is gonna be Hydreigons. And the idea with this pick is that I wanted to add myself immediately Toxic Spikes, cause I have Mega Lopunny and that mon really loves to have that hazard on the arsenal whenever there's a good matchup to utilize them. And because my poison type as of right now doesn't have access to them, I wanted to find another way to add them on my squad. And something also that I thought that Hydreigons really provides me is a very good answer to fighting types, because I do have a couple of mons which are relatively weak to it in Mega Lopunny and Kyurem-Black. My poison type doesn't actually resist fighting in Alolan-Muk because it's part dark. And the only mon before Hydreigons that actually resisted fighting was Landorus-Therian, and with its times 4 weakness to ice, that's not the most ideal for me to have when I have so many mons weak to fighting. So Hydreigons gave me immunity to that, gave me Toxic Spike user. Mummy ability is great for certain matchups to really abuse it on its full potential, and just having one of the best answers to Mega Lopunny naturally on your own team when you have the Mega Lopunny is something that I thought that, you know what, it's better for me to have it than have to go up against it in the future. So I'm very happy with this mon and picking it already in round 5. If I didn't pick it so early, someone actually did say in the draft that they thought that he could be able to pick it on upcoming rounds. So very happy with this, because otherwise I could have not taken it later on. Then on round 6, just trying to add a little bit more supportive options to my first 3 picks, I went with a tier 2 Starmie, which felt like it's a very good value in its tier and to my team, because this gives me a second hazard remover in rapid speed, and it gave me another fighting resist. Still not the most ideal one, but thankfully I did get the Hydreigons earlier on. But with Starmie being psychic and a water, with its move move, it has access to Bolt Beam coverage in Ice Beam and Thunderbolt and several other coverage moves. It has great 2 abilities in Analytic for offensive sets and Nature Cure for a status absorb, and not having to worry about those once I swap out and be fully cure for them, and also having reliable recovery in itself. And just overall a mon that I think it's gonna be very good value on the team. It's very important to have something like this combined with Kyurem-Black on your roster, and I thought because of that it felt like a good timing to pick this one up. And I'm a big believer in Starmie, that it can be very efficient in Draft League format, in utility roles and in offensive roles. And it also gave me a little bit of more speed on my roster besides Mega Lopunny itself. It has 115 speed tier, which is a very good speed tier to have. And I think it can prove itself to be better than most people think at this point about Starmie Draft League format. And hopefully I can showcase why I believe this mon and I think so highly of it. And in round 7 I decided to go to my tier 5 pick and already pick up myself Licky, and the reason behind this pick was that I wanted to make sure that my tier 5 pick can be very valuable asset to my team and not leave myself in a position that my tier 5 pick won't be able to provide something for my roster, because that's something that I feel like a lot of coaches in tier system draft kind of overlook, that their tier 5 pick doesn't provide enough for them in future weeks, and it kind of is a dead weight on your roster. But Licky itself definitely won't be that for me. I know how to use this. I have had it several times in the past. I have seen a lot of great coaches like Gypsy King, Matty Prolic and Joey Pokiem, for example, using this in Draft League format in great success. And I think it's gonna be very good partner with Hydreigons, for example, on my team as a very cheap and reliable wall core and pivots for my matchups in the future. And even though I had a normal type already, partially in Mega Lopunny, Licky and Mega Lopunny are very different what they do, and Licky serves the fat normal type in Draft League format. They roll a lot better obviously than Lopunny, so I'm very happy with picking this one up, making sure that the tier 5 pick will be serving a purpose. And from here on out, even though I have a very good start with my first 7 picks, I still have very key aspects that I need to fill on my team, adding more Stealth Rock setters, and I have to still fulfill a Fairy type to my team, a Steel type to my team, ideally a secondary bulky Water type and another bulky Ground type as well, to make sure that the Landorus-Therian and Starmie can showcase what they can do even better, and make sure that I have better support around them, for example, too. So a lot of things still to be filled from here on out, but I like where we are at with our first part of the draft. And in round 8, I decided to pick my second tier 4 mon, which is gonna be one of my free picks besides Kyurem-Black, and that is gonna be Seismitoad. And Seismitoad is gonna provide something that I mentioned after announcing Licky pick, that I wanted to add myself another Water type and another Ground type, and fulfill like a more of a bulkier supportive role with a different times 4 weakness as a Ground type in itself. And Seismitoad should be a very good fit on the team. It provides me myself a second Stealth Rocker that I was really looking forward to add, and I think this mon, especially with the mons that I have in store in my plans going forward, is gonna be a great fit on the team, and itself can be showcased to be very reliable mon in Draft League formats. Stux from Token Minorities used this thing in UBL Season 2 in great success, and I have had this myself too recently in a Draft League for my first time back then, and I was very happy how it performed for me, and I'm really excited to use it again for this season in the UBL D-League Season 1. And in round 9, I decided to go and pick myself my Fairy type, and also giving myself my Grass type in Whimsicott from tier 3 to fulfill those mandatory tier 3 picks besides Alolan-Muk. And this was a mon that I really didn't think that I would be considering drafting going into this draft, or essentially ever, because this is not usually a mon that I really think too much of drafting, but I thought a little bit throughout the draft itself, and I looked at my team and I was like, I could really use another hazard remover. I could really use some momentum mons for my team, another U-turner, which Whimsicott does add to me besides Landorus-Therian. It gives me great Prankster pivot. With its ability Prankster, it can provide me Prankster Tailwind, which can be very menacing with some of my mons like Kyurem-Black, for example, under Tailwind. Holy crap, it's gonna be a lot of fun if I can bring that kind of team build some of my matchups. And it also gives me Prankster Memento, which is phenomenal with something like Landorus-Therian. I did already actually have 2 Memento users in Alolan-Muk and Go for Kriegers, but off the chance I don't want to run that move of either of them, Whimsicott can be very efficient in that role, and Prankster Encore can be very useful versus opposing setup mons and make sure that they don't get out of hand. And overall, I think Whimsicott is gonna be one of those mons that I'm actually most excited for giving a try, because it's not something that I had really chance to use or giving myself chance to use, and I think on this team it's gonna be really fun mon to try out. And in round 10 I decided to go with Rotom-Heat from all the way from tier 3 as one of my remaining free picks, and Rotom-Heat itself gave me 2 new typings that I still was lacking, and something that were very crucial to me. That was another Crown Immunity, another Defogger, another Momentum Gainer in Volt Switch, what it has access to as being part Electric type, and it gives me a very good synergy between Seismitoad when you think about their typings and abilities, especially how Seismitoad actually with Water Absorb and with Pod Ground typing supports perfectly Rotom-Heat's weaknesses being Water and Rock. So I thought that there's very good synergy within the team to go along with Rotom-Heat, and it's gonna provide me with Seismitoad a little bit more resistance to electric and fire, which I thought at first half of my draft that I was a little bit weak to, but now we were able to patch those up really well, and I'm really excited to use Rotom-Heat. Similar to Whimsicott, I really haven't had a lot of opportunities to, or given myself opportunity to use them in Draft League format, and based on the fit on the team, what I have, and what they can provide to me. I think this is gonna be another fun mod for me to use, and I do think it was significantly underrated throughout this draft, and I was still able to pick it up. Electric and Fire is great dual typing, both in offensive role and in a defensive role, and I'm looking forward to showcase why I believe in that. And with the final pick in round 11, I decided to go with my Steel type finally, which is gonna be from tier 4, Bronzong. And Bronzong to me felt like the best Steel type that I could afford at this point of the draft, and I was always considering it throughout the draft, and I did end up planning for getting it, and thankfully, because so many other coaches already had their Steel type, I could wait for my own Steel type to the very last round and make sure I got everything else. And when it comes to Bronzong, besides providing me the key typing in Steel typing, it also provides me a ground immunity through Levitate. It provides me my third and final Stealth Rocker, which is nice. And being part of Psychic, it also has a lot of cool utility options, which hopefully I can utilize to make it as efficient and as valuable as possible throughout the weeks, cause even though it might seem one-dimensional, it does have a lot of cool sets what you can do with it to support your team in a lot of different ways. So hopefully, with my added experience, unlike in Generation 6, hopefully in this season I can really go through those kind of sets and really utilize it different ways and get a lot of value out of it. And that is going to be the team that I was able to draft for the UBL D-League Season 1. My C captains throughout the season will be Landorus-Therian, obviously, and the second C captain will be actually Licky, because how the rule works for the C captains for this season is that if you happen to name yourself a tier 1 mon, like for myself, Landorus-Therian as a C captain, I can only afford a tier 5 as my second C captain because of that. So those will be my C captains. And when it came to the draft, I was very happy how it turned out, but I wished I was able to add a spiker on the team and fix a specific speed tier gap that I still end up having on the current team. But we'll see if I end up fixing that. As of right now, I'm very content what I have, and hopeful and very confident that it should be good enough for us to be able to make a solid run here throughout the season. The season will last 9 weeks in total. We face every single coach throughout the season once in the regular season, and in playoffs, top 4 teams after those 9 weeks will be making to the playoffs, and that is our goal, the primary goal, to make to the playoffs, and hopefully we can go that far and go from there. And then there's gonna be semifinals, and then there are gonna be finals. And when it comes to the description down below, make sure to check it out, because there are a lot of important links, including to my opponents' channels. Their draft analysis should be going up today as well on Sunday if they are not already been up. And also the UBL YouTube link should be quite important to also to check out, because there are going to be analyst videos going there with Automatic and Iris Emerald, providing them, including the post-draft power rankings, which should be very interesting to see that where they rank us and where they rank the other teams as well. That should be going up before the week 1 battles will be going up. And speaking of those, every single battle will be uploaded from here on out every single Saturday. So make sure to subscribe here as well, obviously, so you will be able to follow those, and also my future content regards to the NPL majors, which hopefully sooner than later we are able to start uploading from that and get that one as well going here on my channel. And I'm very excited for this season. I'm very pumped. Hail Hydreigons. Hopefully things go well for us and we can do well. And hashtag we got this, man. We got this. I'm really confident. But things can go bad really quickly if we are overconfident and team for whatever reason doesn't function as well as I'm hoping for right now. But I do believe that we have everything that we need to go into the playoffs. But that's all I need to really say about this. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll be see you guys later.